Hey there, welcome back to Vegan Outreach. I'm Kim from brownbelt.com and I'm so excited to be back here again to give you some amazing tips for transitioning into a vegan diet. Tip number one is to start with simple substitutions. So if you always had hot dogs and burgers at your family barbecues, well, buy some veggie hot dogs and some veggie burgers to make these simple substitutions and still enjoy in the tradition and feel normal. This is so important when it comes to making new habits really stick. If you eat cereal every morning, try substituting that dairy-based milk for non-dairy milks like soy milk or rice milk or almond milk. These simple little swaps will help you kind of ease into this new way of eating without making it feel overwhelming. These foods, which many people refer to as transition foods, are great options, especially if you were extremely attached to certain animal products. The typical one that we all think about is cheese, right? So these products can really help you make the transition a little bit easier and kind of more doable and approachable. So tip number two is that once you get your sea legs, start incorporating more whole foods into your diet. So I'm talking about all of those beans and whole grains, the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts, the seeds, and all of the amazing creations that you can make while putting these together. And here I'm talking about any type of dish you love and want to eat. Anything your little heart desires, you can have in its plant-based version, and you can make it with whole foods. Health is also very, very important when it comes to our vegan lifestyle. Even if we made the choice of transitioning to a vegan diet because of ethical reasons, we need our health to shine, we need to feel good in order for this lifestyle change to actually stick. So it's very important that we also focus on putting foods inside of our bodies that are really healthy and good for us. And when we do decide to indulge in these special treats and substitutions, it's really good to check the label and check for the ingredients, because many more companies are producing products that have natural foods and whole foods as the base for their preparation. Tip number three is to relearn what a plate looks like. I was so used to having a big piece of meat at the center of my plate that when I went vegan, I just had no idea how to fill it, right? You are the one that has to decide what your plate is going to look like. There are no rules, and oftentimes when we transition to a vegan diet, our plate is going to look different than it used to, and that's okay. You can go very traditional and have a plate with a big, juicy vegan burger and a side of fries, but you can also just have a beautiful bowl with different components, with vegetables, beans, and whole grains, and lots of toppings. Now, a great place to kind of dig into this a little bit more is one of the first videos we made for Vegan Outreach, which was veggie bowls. Now, tip number four is to visit a health food store. The health food store is a great place to go to when you start thinking about making these transitions, and especially if you have a cookbook with amazing recipes and you just want one place that will have practically everything you need. I do most of my shopping in my regular neighborhood supermarket, but it's a great place that I can go to when I want something special or when I have a particular craving for one of these products like the vegan cheeses or a specialty kind of plant-based milk, so I always go there to find what I need. Tip number five is don't try to be a food superhero. Sadly, you are going to find vegan experts recommending the exact opposite things when it comes to nutrition. So just like it happens with standard diets and regular meat-centered diets, the same thing happens often, not always, but often with vegan diets. You'll see some things that worked for some people, the opposite things that worked for other people, and what I see as a big mistake that people continue to make is that they try to be food superheroes. Juice cleansing, oil-free diets, raw diets, no processed foods, clean eating, no sugar, no gluten, no starch, or all starch. And soon, things start becoming really unhealthy, not only for your body, but for your emotional state and your stress levels. Things quickly go from trying and experimenting new things and enjoying this transition to another fad diet that is unsustainable. The biggest cure for this, and one of the biggest tips that I have for you, is to focus on removing the animal products from your diet. That should be your only concern right now. And if you can't do them all at once, then start making steps in this direction, do what you can, and then continue on this path. Tip number 6 has to do with dealing with the comments and reactions we get from other people when we tell them we are vegan, and how not to take these personally. Rest assured that you are not alone. This was my biggest struggle when I went vegan. It had nothing to do with the food. Leaving animal products behind was really easy. The problem that I had was dealing with all of the reactions I was getting from people. Many of these comments come from a real place of concern and love towards us. So when this is the case, we need to be just mindful of this. We need to remember that the people around us really love us and they're really concerned. They haven't gone through the process that we went through all the research and finding out that this is a really healthy way to eat and to live. And sometimes they will just start getting used to the idea once we start sharing information with them, and also they will back off as soon as they realize that we eat normal food, that this isn't something strange that is going to change our personality, that we are still the same people. Now, you might receive some comments that come from a mean-spirited place, that are just coming from a person who is very defensive. This just comes from something else entirely. It doesn't come from a place of love and concern. It comes from the person's own feelings about their own habits and whether or not you might be thinking they have to change their habits. So this is a very complex issue. We'll be talking more about it. But for now, I just want to recommend that when you get this mean-spirited kind of comments and reactions from people, just let them slide. Laugh them off. Just try not to stay in there arguing about them, and just continue on your way. Focus on your own process, your own journey. Focus on getting comfortable and creating delicious meals that you enjoy. Focus on being able to eat out with friends and finding options. People will start backing off the minute they can see that you're just on your path, that nothing's gonna trump you up, and that you just continue and you take things with a grain of salt. You can laugh at yourself too, and people will just let you be. I promise you that. Tip number 7 is to find community. So if you have people in your area who you know are vegan, try to connect with them. Instagram is a place where you can really find people that are close to you, that are following this way of eating. You can meet up with them. You can join meetup groups if you have people in your area. But if you don't, you can also find community online. So I want you to go and search on Facebook for some closed Facebook groups that talk about plant-based issues or vegan issues, vegan transitions. There are so many out there that you can join that are private and where you can share what you're going through. Another great thing you can do is ask questions in forums online, not only to get answers to your questions, but to know that there are other people out there that have the same concerns and issues that you're going through. That is so important. But my favorite way to find community is through my favorite blogs and websites online. So chances are you already have some favorite blogs where you feel that there is a very strong community that is supportive and that can help you along, because these blogs are attracting people who are just like you. The idea is that you find a place where there is a ton of support, where people are not judgmental, and if you don't find it in the first place you search, move immediately, go on to another one and find it there. My last tip, tip number 8, is to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself when you make a mistake, when you stray, when you eat something you weren't supposed to, when you answered in a way you weren't supposed to when someone asked you a question. Be kind to yourself. This is a journey, it's not a destination, and the more you can be kind to yourself, the farther you'll go on this journey, the easier it will be, and the more people you will inspire along the way. Thank you so much for joining me today with these tips. Leave me your comments below. What have you been struggling with? And let's build a little mini community right below this video in the comments. And I will see you again really soon with more at Vegan Outreach.